You are listening to Second Chance Ministry Radio.
Proverbs, Chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for learning wisdom and discipline, for understanding words of discernment, for acquiring the discipline for success, righteousness, justice, and equity, for endowing the simple with shrewdness, the young with knowledge and foresight. The wise man, hearing them, will gain more wisdom. The discerning man will learn to be adroit. For understanding proverb and epigram, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. My son, heed the discipline of your father, and do not forsake the instruction of your mother. For they are a graceful wreath upon your head, a necklace about your throat. My son, if sinners entice you, do not yield. If they say, "Come with us, let us set an ambush to shed blood, let us lie in wait for the innocent without cause. Like Sheol, let us swallow them alive. Whole, like those who go down into the pit, we shall obtain every precious treasure. We shall fill our homes with loot. Throw in your lot with us. We shall all have a common purse. My son, do not set out with them. Keep your feet from their path, for their feet run to evil. They hurry to shed blood. In the eyes of every winged creature, the outspread net means nothing. But they lie in ambush for their own blood. They lie in wait for their own lives. Such is the fate of all who pursue unjust gain. It takes the life of its possessor. Wisdom cries aloud in the streets, raises her voice in the squares. At the head of the busy streets, she calls. At the entrance of the gates in the city, she speaks out. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? You scoffers be eager to scoff. You dullards hate knowledge. You are indifferent to my rebuke. I will now speak my mind to you and let you know my thoughts. Since you refused me when I called and paid no heed when I extended my hand, you spurned all my advice and would not hear my rebuke, I will laugh at your calamity and mock when terror comes upon you, when terror comes like a disaster and calamity arrives like a whirlwind, when trouble and distress come upon you. Then they shall call me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me, but not find me, because they hated and did not choose fear of the Lord. They refused my advice and disdained all my rebukes. They shall eat the fruit of their ways and have their fill of their own counsels. The tranquility of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of dullards will destroy them. But he who listens to me will dwell in safety, untroubled by the terror of misfortune. Chapter 2. My son, if you accept my words and treasure up my commandments, if you make your ear attentive to wisdom and your mind open to discernment, if you call to understanding and cry aloud to discernment, if you seek it as you do silver and search for it as for treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and attain knowledge of God. For the Lord grants wisdom. Knowledge and discernment are by his decree. He reserves ability for the upright and is a shield for those who live blamelessly, guarding the paths of justice, protecting the way of those loyal to him. You will then understand what is right, just, and equitable, every good course. For wisdom will enter your mind, and knowledge will delight you. Foresight will protect you, and discernment will guard you. It will save you from the way of evil men, from men who speak duplicity, who leave the paths of rectitude to follow the ways of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil and exult in the duplicity of evil men, men whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their course. It will save you from the forbidden woman, from the alien woman whose talk is smooth, who forsakes the companion of her youth and disregards the covenant of her God. Her house sinks down to death, and her course leads to the shades. All who go to her cannot return and find again the paths of life. So follow the way of the good, and keep to the paths of the just. For the upright will inhabit the earth, the blameless will remain in it, while the wicked will vanish from the land, and the treacherous will be rooted out of it. Chapter 3. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your mind retain my commandments. For they will bestow on you length of days, years of life and well-being. Let fidelity and steadfastness not leave you. Bind them about your throat, write them on the tablet of your mind, and you will find favor and approbation in the eyes of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths smooth. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. It will be a cure for your body, a tonic for your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the best of all your income, and your barns will be filled with grain, your vats will burst with new wine. Do not reject the discipline of the Lord, my son. Do not abhor his rebuke. For whom the Lord loves, he rebukes, as a father the son whom he favors. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, the man who attains understanding. Her value in trade is better than silver, her yield greater than gold. She is more precious than rubies. All of your goods cannot equal her. In her right hand is length of days, in her left riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths peaceful. She is a tree of life to those who grasp her, and whoever holds on to her is happy. The Lord founded the earth by wisdom. He established the heavens by understanding. By his knowledge the depths burst apart, and the skies distilled dew. My son, do not lose sight of them. Hold on to resourcefulness and foresight. They will give life to your spirit and grace to your throat. Then you will go your way safely and not injure your feet. When you lie down, you will be unafraid. You will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. You will not fear sudden terror or the disaster that comes upon the wicked, for the Lord will be your trust. He will keep your feet from being caught. Do not withhold good from one who deserves it when you have the power to do it for him. Do not say to your fellow, "Come back again, I'll give it to you tomorrow," when you have it with you. Do not devise harm against your fellow who lives trustfully with you. Do not quarrel with a man for no cause when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a lawless man or choose any of his ways, for the devious man is an abomination to the Lord, but he is intimate with the straightforward. The curse of the Lord is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the abode of the righteous. At scoffers he scoffs, but to the lowly he shows grace. The wise shall obtain honor, but dullards get disgrace as their portion.
Chapter 4. Sons, heed the discipline of a father. Listen and learn discernment, for I give you good instruction. Do not forsake my teaching. Once I was a son to my father, the tender darling of my mother. He instructed me and said to me, "Let your mind hold on to my words, keep my commandments, and you will live. Acquire wisdom, acquire discernment. Do not forget and do not swerve from my words. Do not forsake her, and she will guard you. Love her, and she will protect you." The beginning of wisdom is acquire wisdom. With all your acquisitions, acquire discernment. Hug her to you, and she will exalt you. She will bring you honor if you embrace her. She will adorn your head with a graceful wreath, crown you with a glorious diadem. My son, heed and take in my words, and you will have many years of life. I instruct you in the way of wisdom. I guide you in straight courses. You will walk without breaking stride. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold fast to discipline. Do not let go. Keep it. It is your life. Do not enter on the path of the wicked. Do not walk on the way of evil men. Avoid it. Do not pass through it. Turn away from it. Pass it by. For they cannot sleep unless they have done evil. Unless they make someone fall, they are robbed of sleep. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of lawlessness. The path of the righteous is like radiant sunlight, ever brightening until noon. The way of the wicked is all darkness. They do not know what will make them stumble. My son, listen to your ear to my words. Do not lose sight of them. Keep them in your mind. They are life to him who finds them, healing for his whole body. More than all that you guard your mind, for it is the source of life. Put crooked speech away from you. Keep devious talk far from you. Let your eyes look forward, your gaze be straight ahead. Survey the course you take, and all your ways will prosper. Do not swerve to the right or the left. Keep your feet from evil. Chapter 5. My son, listen to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my insight, that you may have foresight, while your lips hold fast to knowledge. For the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey. Her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold of Sheol. She does not chart a path of life, her course meanders for lack of knowledge. So now, sons, pay heed to me, and do not swerve from the words of my mouth. Keep yourself far away from her. Do not come near the doorway of her house, lest you give up your vigor to others, your years to a ruthless one. Lest strangers eat their fill of your strength, and your toil be for the house of another. And in the end you roar, when your flesh and body are consumed, and say, Oh, how I hated discipline and heartily spurned rebuke! I did not pay heed to my teachers or incline my ear to my instructors. Soon I was in dire trouble amidst the assembled congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Your springs will gush forth in streams in the public squares. They will be yours alone, others having no part with you. Let your fountain be blessed. Find joy in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful mountain goat. Let her breasts satisfy you at all times. Be infatuated with love of her always. Why be infatuated, my son, with a forbidden woman? Why clasp the bosom of an alien woman? For a man's ways are before the eyes of God. He surveys his entire course. The wicked man will be trapped in his iniquities. He will be caught up in the ropes of his sin. He will die for lack of discipline, infatuated by his great folly. Chapter 6. My son, if you have stood surety for your fellow, given your hand for another, you have been trapped by the words of your mouth, snared by the words of your mouth. Do this, then, my son, to extricate yourself, for you have come into the power of your fellow. Go grovel and badger your fellow. Give your eyes no sleep, your pupils no slumber. Save yourself like a deer out of the hand of a hunter, like a bird out of the hand of a fowler. Lazy bones, go to the ant. Study its ways and learn. Without leaders, officers, or rulers, it lays up its stores during the summer, gathers in its food at the harvest. How long will you lie there, lazy bones? When will you wake from your sleep? A bit more sleep, a bit more slumber, a bit more hugging yourself in bed, and poverty will come calling upon you, and want like a man with a shield. A scoundrel, an evil man, lives by crooked speech, winking his eyes, shuffling his feet, pointing his finger. Duplicity is in his heart. He plots evil all the time. He incites quarrels. Therefore calamity will come upon him without warning. Suddenly he will be broken beyond repair. 6 things the Lord hates. 7 are an abomination to him: a haughty bearing, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a mind that hatches evil plots, feet quick to run to evil, a false witness testifying lies, and one who incites brothers to quarrel. My son, keep your father's commandment. Do not forsake your mother's teaching. Tie them over your heart always. Bind them around your throat. When you walk, it will lead you. When you lie down, it will watch over you. And when you are awake, it will talk with you. For the commandment is a lamp, the teaching is a light, and the way to life is the rebuke that disciplines. It will keep you from an evil woman, from the smooth tongue of a forbidden woman. Do not lust for her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. The last loaf of bread will go for a harlot. A married woman will snare a person of honor. Can a man rake embers into his bosom without burning his clothes? Can a man walk on live coals without scorching his feet? It is the same with one who sleeps with his fellow's wife. None who touches her will go unpunished. A thief is not held in contempt for stealing to appease his hunger. Yet if caught, he must pay 7-fold. He must give up all he owns. He who commits adultery is devoid of sense. Only one who would destroy himself does such a thing. He will meet with disease and disgrace. His reproach will never be expunged. The fury of the husband will be passionate. He will show no pity on his day of vengeance. He will not have regard for any ransom. He will refuse your bribe, however great. Chapter 7. My son, heed my words, and store up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live, my teaching as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your mind. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding a kinswoman. She will guard you from a forbidden woman, from an alien woman whose talk is smooth. From the window of my house, through my lattice, I looked out and saw among the simple, noticed among the youths, a lad devoid of sense. He was crossing the street near her corner, walking toward her house in the dusk of evening, in the dark hours of night. A woman comes toward him, dressed like a harlot, with set purpose. She is bustling and restive. She is never at home. Now in the street, now in the square, she lurks at every corner. She lays hold of him and kisses him. Brazenly she says to him, I had to make a sacrifice of well-being. Today I fulfilled my vows. Therefore I have come out to you, seeking you, and have found you. I have decked my couch with covers of dyed Egyptian linen. I have sprinkled my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Let us drink our fill of love till morning. Let us delight in amorous embrace. For the man of the house is away. He is off on a distant journey. He took his bag of money with him, and will return only at mid-month. She sways him with her eloquence, turns him aside with her smooth talk. Thoughtlessly he follows her like an ox going to the slaughter, like a fool to the stocks for punishment, until the arrow pierces his liver. He is like a bird rushing into a trap, not knowing his life is at stake. Now, sons, listen to me. Pay attention to my words. Let your mind not wander down her ways. Do not stray onto her paths. For many are those she has struck dead, and numerous are her victims. Her house is a highway to Sheol, leading down to death's inner chambers.
Chapter 8. It is wisdom calling, understanding, raising her voice. She takes her stand at the topmost heights, by the wayside, at the crossroads, near the gates at the city entrance. At the entryways, she shouts, O men, I call to you. My cry is to all mankind. O simple ones, learn shrewdness. O dullards, instruct your minds. Listen, for I speak noble things. Uprightness comes from my lips. My mouth utters truth. Wickedness is abhorrent to my lips. All my words are just, none of them perverse or crooked. All are straightforward to the intelligent man, and right to those who have attained knowledge. Accept my discipline rather than silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, no goods can equal her. I, wisdom, live with prudence. I attain knowledge and foresight. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride, arrogance, the evil way, and duplicity in speech. Mine are counsel and resourcefulness. I am understanding. Courage is mine. Through me kings reign, and rulers decree just laws. Through me princes rule, great men and all the righteous judges. Those who love me I love, and those who seek me will find me. Riches and honor belong to me, enduring wealth and success. My fruit is better than gold, fine gold, and my produce better than choice silver. I walk on the way of righteousness, on the paths of justice. I endow those who love me with substance. I will fill their treasuries. The Lord created me at the beginning of his course as the first of his works of old. In the distant past I was fashioned, at the beginning, at the origin of earth. There was still no deep when I was brought forth, no springs rich in water. Before the foundation of the mountains were sunk, before the hills, I was born. He had not yet made earth and fields, or the world's first clumps of clay. I was there when he set the heavens into place, when he fixed the horizon upon the deep, when he made the heavens above firm, and the fountains of the deep gushed forth, when he assigned the sea its limits, so that its waters never transgress his command, when he fixed the foundations of the earth. I was with him as a confidant, a source of delight every day, rejoicing before him at all times, rejoicing in his inhabited world, finding delight with mankind. Now, sons, listen to me. Happy are they who keep my ways, heed discipline and become wise. Do not spurn it. Happy is the man who listens to me, coming early to my gates each day, waiting outside my doors. For he who finds me finds life, and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who misses me destroys himself. All who hate me love death. Chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn her 7 pillars. She has prepared the feast, mixed the wine, and also set the table. She has sent out her maids to announce on the heights of the town, "Let the simple enter here." To those devoid of sense, she says, "Come, eat my food, and drink the wine that I have mixed. Give up simpleness and live. Walk in the way of understanding." To correct a scoffer, or rebuke a wicked man for his blemish, is to call down abuse on oneself. Do not rebuke a scoffer, for he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Instruct a wise man, and he will grow wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will gain in learning. The beginning of wisdom is fear of the Lord, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For through me your days will increase, and years be added to your life. If you are wise for yourself. If you are a scoffer, you bear it alone. The stupid woman bustles about. She is simple and knows nothing. She sits in the doorway of her house, or on a chair at the heights of the town, calling to all the wayfarers who go about their own affairs. "Let the simple enter here." And to those devoid of sense she says, "Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten furtively is tasty." He does not know that the shades are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol.
You are listening to Second Chance Ministry Radio.